Put in a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Hello, everybody. Where's my partner at? I can't see you. Where'd you go, Lisa? I can't see you anymore. Where'd you go? Well, I guess it's just me, I guess. I don't know. Welcome to Mystic Mayhem. I'm one of your hosts, Lisa Franks. I'm looking for my girl, Lisa Lamrock, over here. I don't know where she went. Okay, where'd you go? I can't see you. What are you doing? Oh, this is terrible. I don't want to do this by myself. Anyway, we have, I guess, just me right now because I don't know where she went. I'm actually going to message her real quick because we just don't want to show with me. I mean, that would be pretty boring. I mean, probably not, but where are you? She at? Where'd she go? She keeps disappearing. Where'd she go? Where's my girl at? There she is. Wait, are you here now? Where have you been? Girl, well, I think we've been live for 2 minutes now, and I'm like, welcome to the Lisa show. What the heck? I'm like,
Lisa without the other Lisa.
Lisa without the other
Welcome
Lisa.
back, guys. Mystic Mayhem.
Yes, Mystic Mayhem. We always start it with a little mayhem.
With some kind of chaos.
We were having all kinds of issues before we even started this show with trying to get stuff downloaded. And then I'm on and all of a sudden my connection dropped and I couldn't get back on. So I'm like grabbing my husband, like, fix this for me because I have no idea. But here we are, Lisa and Lisa.
Yes, and I see the Twinkies today.
I know, right? We're sporting our Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail shirts because that's
that was total coincidence too, because we didn't even line that up or anything.
No, we didn't. I mean, we knew we were going to be talking about the jail on this episode, but no, not at all. I just figured I'd pimp my location, and yes, we do have these shirts for sale as well. Figured we'd pimp the location tonight, so it'll be a good one. I'm looking forward to this show today. So, how have you been since we had our jail night on Thursday? That was a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah, we went and investigated. That was a lot of fun to explore the jail and see. It's crazy looking at that. The doors, to me, what baffles me the most is how heavy those doors are and the way you open them, and the keys, the way they did it back then. I mean, the 50-pound keys that you tote around. I can't imagine being an officer trying to carry this thing around.
Yep, even in 2005, those were the keys, and that's where they threw you. So yeah, it's a very interesting place. But before we get on to that, and before we bring on our guest, who was like another child to me, let's talk a little football. Let's talk a little football. Do I dare ask how y'all are doing?
Well, you know what? I actually we had a bye week, but I watched the Dallas game. And I don't normally, but I was with a girlfriend. She's like, "What? Let's watch Dallas play." And it pains me to say they were doing decent. I don't know if you like Dallas, but I was like, "Oh, their defense is actually holding up." I know.
I am not a Dallas fan.
I will
go down saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now
you guys.
A&M has been doing really good. What was it, October 28th? We played South Carolina, and it was a really, really good game. We had, Alex, not a Cowboys fan, right? we had it was a really good game. We did win that game, and my nephew Sam Matthews, number 12, the 12th man, exactly, got to keep pimping him. He had a bunch of tackles that game. I mean, he did so good that game. Yesterday's game against Mississippi was just back and forth and back and forth, and it was just a nail biter. We did end up losing by 3 points, but hey, it is what it is. We can't win every game, I guess, but some really cool news, some big news. My nephew, Sam Matthews, number 12, sorry, A&M Aggies. He has been nominated for I have to read this. I had to write it down. He's been nominated for the Burlsworth Trophy. And that is the most outstanding football player in America who began their career as a walk-on. So he's a nominee for that award. And I mean, that is huge. And I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to swipe that up because he's awesome. And even if you're not an Aggies fan, you have to watch a game. You really do. And if you can make it to a game, even better, because that is like a whole nother experience in itself. So again, proud aunt moment. And so just had to brag for a couple minutes. So that's all.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wanted to also, so Alex is our guest. If you want to give a little bit about him, but I thought we could show, there's a nice hour-long video that he's done that I started to watch and was just amazed by. I mean, you mentioned how good his work is, and it really is. And I wanted to start that a little bit, give, a 5-10 minute teaser, and then we'll bring him on and we can go through some slides and some other short video like EVPs that they caught and go from there, ask him a ton of questions.
That's a great idea. Alex, he is the lead investigator with Go Seekers Texas. They are a little group out of San Antonio, and it's 3 of them, and they're like my children. They're between the ages of like 20 and 23. So they're kind of like my kids, and I love them to death. They are so professional, so respectful, truly just an amazing group of kids. And this, I believe the video you're about to show, this was their 4th time at the jail. So they are definitely some repeat offenders. They spent the weekend with us, and you'll see every time they come, they get some amazing stuff. So,
and do they stay all night?
Oh yeah. Every time they come, they stay overnight. Twice they've stayed the entire weekend. So yes, once they're there, they're there. And they are investigating.
Definitely not a group that runs out the door within the first few hours.
No, absolutely not. Although, no, they do not. They don't run out. But I did have to call the police for them once.
Oh, that's right. I remember that story. We'll have to get into that later.
We'll get into that later. But yeah, so yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage, Lisa.
Absolutely. Let me do the screen share since I was not able to upload. So we'll cut over to the video and then we'll cut back.
Perfect. We hope. There we go.
Let me go to the beginning now.
Okay. Think about it, back in the day, there's a lone sheriff, and you've got, this guy here that maybe, someone or stole a horse even, and he's going to take you in the backyard and shoot you and kill you and throw you down the river. That's just kind of how it went back in the day. I mean, I know there were hundreds of deaths that occurred on this property.
Whoa!
That was like a big step after you.
Dude, that was a big step after I stepped down on this.
At one time on the property, we did have a gallows, and we do have 23 confirmed public hangings that occurred.
What was that? Is that someone whistling?
Yeah. Is it that?
Stay right here.
Stay right here or stay in here? Dude, okay, no. I think I just broke that. Oh my god.
Okay. We're going to cut on back.
Awesome.
So, was that good or was that good? I mean,
That was amazing. And every time I watch it, I get the goosebumps because they're just,
yeah.
they've had some moving experiences there. So I'm excited to bring him on and talk with him and talk about everything they've experienced every single time. They started out as a group of 4 and they're now down to a group of 3 because one of them had such a terrifying experience at the jail that he's just kind of done with it. So we should.
Well, without further ado, I think we need to bring Mr. Alex on.
My son,
Alex Fountain. It
hey,
is.
sweetheart, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. It's good to see you again.
You too.
Good. Like I said, next time y'all come, we're going to have a good time. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to go cemetery touring, and we're going to have a really good time. And I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
Me too. Yay. So tell us a little bit about you and what brought you into the paranormal.
Okay. So I started paranormal investigating 8 years ago. And my very first investigation was actually at the Black Swan here in San Antonio.
Nice.
And then 3 years later, I graduated high school and I was like, I want to start diving more into this. And at first, Ghost Seeker started out as like exploring abandoned locations here in town, downtown. And we used to have a big location downtown that we would go back in the day before we stopped, trespassing.
Which we don't. Oh, hi, my cat Ouija wants to join us. Sorry.
Oh, hello.
I know, right?
But what did you say? I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, about breaking and entering and trespassing. It's like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. So.
Nope. I think that's definitely I'm sorry?
You mentioned this, like, you started this young. You mentioned high school.
Yes, ma'am.
So what did the other classmates think about this? Because, obviously sometimes it's frowned upon by some people,
Yeah.
Did they think, oh, this guy's crazy as shit?
Well, my girlfriend, Beth, she has been into the paranormal for a while. And she actually started investigating with me 2 years ago. And Chris, who she actually met at her old job, Komori, which is a sushi restaurant, him and I actually ended up talking. We met, and him and I ended up clicking like that. And one night we decided to bring him on an investigation to do some photography for us. And he ended up being part of the team that night. And he just clicked with everybody. It seemed like he knew what he was doing.
Pretty much like a calling. That's what I say. It's like nursing. It's like something you're called to do, to me.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
If it's not and it's just not meant for you, like those people just die out. They get weeded out real fast.
Yeah. And at first we didn't think like Chris would be all into it that much, but like he is really into it because there will be times where he messages me and he's like, dude, I'm like itching to investigate again so bad. I'm like, bro, you and me both. You and me both. But Beth and I were back to the whole starting of Ghost Seekers. I feel like that's honestly how every paranormal person starts out. They go out to abandoned places and get the feel. And then that's when they're like, oh, this is like intense. This is for real. And so after I would say maybe a year after Ghost Seeker started, or a few months, we ended up going to that location that we used to go check out every now and then. It used to be the St. John Seminary, downtown San Antonio. And on the property, there was this huge 3 or 4-story structure building. And then on the same property behind it, there was an old school for children. And then on the right of it, there was a chapel. And we ended up going there one night, and this lady walks up to Mission Concepcion, which is this other chapel right next to that property. Now, keep in mind, the property nowadays is turned into apartments. And as we see the lady walk up to the other chapel, we hear like mumbling under her breath, and we try to like get closer to see if she was okay or like if she needed anything. And she's like speaking in tongues, like not even speaking Spanish, not speaking English. I don't know what the language was. It was just weird. And that's not even a good word to describe that night. And this is just the beginning of this night. There's a whole nother part to it. And all of us are too scared to like actually go up to her to see if she's okay. And so Devin, he was a part of the team at the time. He was the only one that would go up to her, and apparently she didn't say anything to him. And so he just kind of like walked off after asking her if she was okay, and she didn't say anything. She just looked at him and then like turned right back to the chapel and started talking again. And so we were like, let's do it. And so I'm sure y'all have heard of this place I'm about to name, Woman Hollering Creek.
Yes, I have.
Okay. It's one of La Llorona's sightings.
Mm-hmm.
So we go there that night because we didn't know what else to do. We wanted to go check out someplace else because this was October. It was spooky time.
Right.
And so we go there, and I'm sure you know there's like a little ledge on the road where you could just like sit down and the water runs under. So we're sitting there. We didn't end up going into the woods. We just sat down and did EVP sessions by the road where the water runs underneath it. And the third one comes around 6 minutes in, we're acting completely fine. And I still have the audio from this night. This was 2018. 6 minutes go by. We're acting completely normal, joking around. And Devin starts asking questions towards La Llorona. And from here on out, I don't remember anything until I see Christian dolphin diving. This is a different Christian than you've met, Lisa.
Well, I know. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of Christians and Chris's, too many. But the next thing I remember is literally seeing him dolphin diving through my car window to get in and leave. Because apparently, as Devin is asking these questions, like, La Llorona, are you here right now? Do you still walk this creek? I don't remember the La Llorona, are you here right now? I do not remember that question at all, because apparently, from what Christian told me, my body was just doing this, tensing up and leaning back towards the road. And he sees that. He's on this side of me. He's to the left of me. He grabs me and is like shaking me to see if I'm like, if I snap out of it and stuff like that. And I didn't. And so he freaked out and ended up throwing me onto the dirt. And that's when I think he got up, and Devin was all like, what's going on? He had no idea what was happening. And he was right there sitting next to Christian. And as he threw me onto the dirt, that's when I snapped out of it. And I started bawling. I started crying my eyes out, hyperventilating. Finally get into the car. You can hear my breathing on the audio just like shaking and intensify. And I don't think it was a possession at all. I definitely think something was trying to communicate, but in its own way.
Right.
Maybe,
Sometimes they don't know their own strength. So
yeah. I'm thinking maybe more along the lines of a channeling.
Mhm.
Almost like
But like
just
I wasn't.
jumping,
I'm sorry.
like just temporarily, like you know how they can jump you for a little bit, maybe something like that.
I think so. Like I wasn't saying anything, and I don't remember my body doing any of those movements at all. Like I have no memory of that. And so we finally pull over to the gas station, like 10 minutes away, because Womanholler Creek is out in the buttfuck nowhere.
Yeah, it is.
And we pulled to the gas station. Keep in mind, I had to drive. No one else drove. Like in the audio, you can just hear my car go like pull off. But as we get to the gas station, I look at Christian and I'm like, dude, can you please elaborate on what just happened? And he told me what I just told you. But I have no memory of that. I have no memory at all except for the audio. And that is what started making me pursue this field even more.
That's awesome. Those experiences that just make you question so much more. Yeah.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. So every time that you've been to, I'm just going to change subjects here, locations here. We're going to go back to the jail. So
Okay.
The very first time that you guys came to the jail, I remember it was cold.
Yeah, it was very cold.
And we did, Deborah and I actually did an interview with you. And I honestly don't remember if at the time it was the three of you or the four of you. I know Christian was there.
It was me, Beth, Christian, and Max.
Okay. All right. So it was the four of you. So I know one of the teammates that is not with you any longer did have an experience at the jail. And I'm not sure if it was that time or the second time.
It was the second time.
It was the second time. Okay. And he hasn't been back. So can you maybe tell us what happened? Because I feel so bad. He was such a sweet kid, and it makes me mad, when
I understand.
When that happens. So what exactly happened?
So Chris, Beth, himself, and I were upstairs in the women's side. And I think we started doing like a spirit box session, and then we weren't really getting anything, and then we stopped and we were talking for a little bit, and then Christian out of nowhere just starts feeling rage. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And he was like, no. I'm like, mad. And I asked him, well, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know, but it's like starting to make me kind of panic. And so, sorry, I'm trying to like relive that in my head. I think once he was like telling us about that, he started like his legs started trembling. And as we're getting up to get out of the cell, Chris is the first one to walk out, and I see that Christian starts following. And I truly believe in that moment that he was going to try to hurt Chris in some way. Only because when I tell them to wait and to come back, because Beth starts getting affected and she starts crying, I see Christian, well, the camera shows Christian's like fist coming up like this and shaking, and then he covers his mouth, and I think he covered his mouth in disbelief because he realized what he was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, he was just really shaken up the whole night, and just pretty much called it quits.
Need a break, and that's understood. And the thing is that does happen to a lot of people. I mean,
oh yeah,
this is a very interesting field, and you're never going to find all the answers, but sometimes things happen, and it makes you question a lot of things, and it can scare you enough to. I've had, things happen to me at the jail that I'm like, I need to leave. I need to leave for now. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like this is okay. And a lot of that stuff does happen. Have you guys experienced, more things like that at the jail, whether it be you or Beth or Chris, and any of the other times that you guys have been there?
The third time we were there, this was a 2-night investigation. The first night was absolutely terrifying because we thought someone was inside of the building. Like, we thought someone got into the building from the roof.
Yeah.
And
I remember this phone call. Like, I was like having a mini heart attack, but I knew what it was, but they were so frightened that I'm just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, because
we've never experienced anything that loud before, and the mic on the camera does not do it justice whatsoever.
It shakes the building. It's so loud.
It shook and vibrated the entire cell that we were in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this was just Chris and I at the time. Beth was taking a nap in the housing area.
Mm-hmm.
Chris and I were in the women's cells and doing spirit box session, and then he says stop because he starts hearing noises. And as I stop the spirit box, you can clear as day start hearing noises. And I start freaking out. You can hear my voice go all high pitched. I'm like, Chris? And
let's call Lisa. No,
yeah. And like,
so it's just a shaking sound, or a banging sound.
Sorry?
Oh, your mic. So it sounded like, so it's just a banging, like somebody was stomping or shaking the cell?
It sounded like someone like jumped from like this hole in the ceiling and then jumped directly on top of the cell. And that's what it sounded like. Like, you can hear the scuff from the roof and then onto the cell.
Like some Godzilla stuff.
I mean, it literally does sound like, some 300-pound man is jumping up and down on top of those metal cells. And it is loud and it shakes the building. But when he's describing this to me, I get this phone call and I'm like, oh gosh, and he's like, Lisa, somebody broke in. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's explaining what's happening. And I'm thinking, like, I know exactly I know what that is. It's the ghosts, it's the spirits. But he was very adamant about, no, like, somebody is in here. Somebody is in here. So, and it really truly does sound like that. I mean, you hear scuffling, you hear footsteps, it sounds like somebody's jumping up and down on those cells. So I called Officer Kyle to come out and go and make sure that they were okay. And he messages me back, yeah, it was ghosts, but it is very scary. And I can say, I mean, I've experienced it, I want to say about 3 times. Deborah experienced it a few more times, and we've had several teams that have experienced the exact same thing. And they say the exact same thing. It sounds like somebody is coming down from the basement and you hear scuffling, you hear footsteps, and then this jumping up and down on the cells. So it's a real thing, but
yeah. And the running footsteps too that night. And that was before that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting ready to like set up for our nighttime investigation, and we're in the downstairs hallway, and I'm about to describe like what we're about to do and stuff like that. And as I'm like opening my mouth, like, all right guys, so right now and then I stop because we just hear like, I swear, like it literally sounded like someone was in the building straight up walking up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we stop, we listen, continues for a little bit, it stops, and then I continue. And as I continue again, that's when we hear the running down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy to me about the running down the stairs in that part was earlier in the day, Chris had ran down the stairs because he thought someone was walking behind him.
Yep.
It sounded like the same running steps that he did. And for them to be that identical is really strange.
Yes. We do get a lot.
Some residual energy, bunch of residual.
You know, I honestly don't know if it's all residual or not, because we do. I mean, I've heard footsteps and not necessarily running, but like someone's walking up or down the stairs. I mean, they're metal stairs. I mean, they're old metal stairs, so you can definitely hear when you're walking on them. So, and then during the, I know I came to do a tour, a recorded tour with you guys one time, and we did a daytime investigation right there on the stairs, and it was great. I mean, we got a great conversation and communication with a gentleman named Patrick, like right on the landing of the stairs, and you know, right during the middle of the day. And I tell people all the time, it's like you don't have to be here just at night to get stuff, because you know, early morning through the day there is a lot of residual sound, and there's a lot of intelligent stuff going on there too. So, and you know that, Alex.
Yeah,
there's
definitely lots of intelligent communication.
I was gonna pop over to some of these slides and show some of these photos of the jail and you guys as a group, and then I had a question for you when we get done with that.
Of course.
Let me see if I can pop that on the screen here for everybody.
Oh, me and my kids. I love them.
Oh,
that was right after the interview.
Right after the interview. Or I almost lost my shirt during that interview.
That was actually
the
I did, yeah.
Well, there's the jail. Should I just be really quick?
It says
there's the jail.
That's
the demo.
That's what it used to look like when it had the front part to it. That's so crazy.
It did. Yes, it did.
Okay, so there's the first one.
I love seeing old pictures of this jail because that front part of it is so cool.
Well, the original jail was the most beautiful, and then that big block in front of the jail was built in 1976 because they needed more. They needed like 2 more bathrooms. They needed a 911 operating room and another office, and then the downstairs cells, which we did keep because it shows a 100-year span between the upstairs and downstairs cells. But that whole block that just chunked the whole front of the jail, it just, I don't know. I like the way it looks originally. So.
Right. And we should have a picture of how it is now.
And that was the original look of the jail, how it, you know, and it was so pretty. So yeah, it's been the goal since day one to get it back to the original look.
That's so cool.
Okay. And there's our creepy upstairs cells that were actually constructed in 1874. The jail was built and opened in 1885. So those upstairs cells are older than the actual jail. The locking mechanisms to open the doors and everything, they do still work. They are very creepy, and they were still used. Even though there were newer cells built in 1976, they did still throw people up there in 2005. And Lisa and Alex, you both know that is not a place you ever want to be, even for a brief period of time. So to be thrown up there, you know, in 2005 is pretty.
Yeah, it's freezing up there, so I can't imagine like during the winter or the summer. Either one.
Especially with the way the cells were made, how they were strategically made for like only one eye to like look through. Yes, and so it's really like
it is a mind. Yes, it is. They did not. I mean, even the mind screw with you back in 1874, where like you said, the squares are so little that you can't use both of your eyes to see out of one square, and they would excuse me, and they would paint the windows black. So you were really in prison. That was just a cool picture. That is actually that's a good friend of ours who actually passed away a couple years ago. But his team, Paraholics, they still come to the jail, and oh,
Wait, that's Huck.
that is Huck. Yes, it is. That's Huck. Actually,
Oh
him Shaggy is going to be at the jail Saturday.
yeah,
I believe Huck's wife is going to be coming as well. Hopefully,
correct.
And what's
okay. So
this?
this photo here. So the photo on the right is one of our original sheriffs. That is Sheriff John Hutchins. He had 6 children. One of them died there at the jail, or was born at the jail, died at the jail, had her funeral at the jail. The same with one of his sons. John Hutchins passed away of a heart attack in his early 40s. So the photo to the left was, so we have this old police phone box at the end of the hallway in the jail. And a friend of ours was just there snapping photos during the day, and he did not have a flash on at all. I was there, I witnessed it. He's going around taking photos, and at the very end of the hallway where that box is, we got that reflection, the guy on the left, who to me looks a lot like John Hutchins on the right. Maybe it's not, but to me, I think they look similar.
The picture that was captured,
yes,
it looks like his chin is out. Like it looks like he has like a underbite.
But I just thought it was very cool.
Because you can see a definite nose and eyes.
The nose, the eyes, the mustache, like the collar, and even kind of the hair. It's not the exact same photo, but it looks like it could be him. So thought that was a cool picture. That was a photo taken by a friend, Sean, of ours. Okay, so here on the left, we have me and my work partner, Deborah. She's like my little second mommy, and we were just, I don't know, taking photos that day. I don't know. The one on the right is actually a very interesting photo. So if you give me a couple minutes, I'll talk about this photo quick. So somehow we came along a headstone, and it belonged to this girl and her family. So they came one day to pick this headstone up that was in the garage of the jail. So while they're there, and it's just the girl, and there were 2 other people with her, another lady and a gentleman, and they were all downstairs. I was downstairs. Deborah was downstairs. She wanted to go through the jail and take some photos. So this photo she took in the upstairs male cell. There's a mirror right above the toilet. So she was taking like a picture in the mirror. And if you see behind her, there's definitely one gentleman standing there, and it looks like another one kind of peering over. There was nobody in the building. And the thing about this photo that makes this even more relevant is that, I mean, I personally have witnessed with my own 2 eyes this big black male shadow, and it looks just like that. I mean, you get the head, the neck, the shoulders. I mean, just like that. We've had several other teams that have captured the same thing, whether it be in a photo or whether it be in a video where they're just, kind of going around and you see him. He is there for sure. And I don't know who he is, but it was just an awesome photo, because I think, and I tell people this all the time too, is like, when you come to the jail, and I think any location really, but especially when you come to the jail, don't try so hard. I think when you're there and you're just doing your own thing, having just a random conversation, just taking photos, whatever, I think that is when you are going to get your best stuff. And this girl, who isn't even an investigator at all, just wanted to take photos, and she got some great stuff right there. So I think
his bald to me, his head.
Mhm.
I don't know.
And Alex, remember on the last time you guys were there and I was doing an interview with you and I told you that that big shadow walked behind. It was behind you. If you remember me telling you that, and
Yeah.
that's him. He's always there and he's always upstairs.
What's crazy is I think that is the shadow figure I saw like go behind the cells of when I like jumped in the cell. That was during my solo. Chris was downstairs. And I saw that, and I'm wondering if that is the person who is pushing, because the last time I was there, that was now my third time being pushed inside of the building. One time was up against the window. The second time was upstairs in the men's cell. I felt like a slight nudge on my shoulder. And then packing up to leave on this last time we were there. Where is it at? Here, let me get it real quick. So last time we were there, we were packing up to leave, and Beth and I are getting stuff that we left upstairs running. We left a couple cameras, and I'm holding a tripod. I think I'm holding one tripod. As I'm like on the fifth to last step, it feels like I get pushed with two hands on my back, and I completely fall down the stairs. I ended up catching myself with the tripod and my bad leg, and I thought I ended up snapping my ankle or my knee. I ended up snapping my AFO.
That can't be easy to snap either.
No.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah. Well, thank God it wasn't your ankle, though. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm so glad it was not like.
But I feel awful about that. And I did go to the jail the next day, and I was so pissed. I yelled at like everybody. I was so bad. Like the spirits got it. I was so pissed off. I'm like, how dare you hurt my kid? Like, absolutely not. Don't ever do that again. That shit pissed me off. I'm just gonna say sorry. That stuff really pissed me off.
Dude, I was like, my leg was so sore for like 2 days.
I feel terrible. Your mom's never gonna let you come
Now,
back.
is this just occurring with twice?
I'm sorry?
Does this occur with females or just men?
You know, honestly, it occurs with females too because Deborah has been pushed down the stairs as well.
I remember her talking about that in a certain interview.
Yes, yeah, she has. The only, I think, negative thing other than a really negative Ouija board experience upstairs one time, occasionally when I go upstairs, if I'm getting a tour, especially if I'm getting a tour or, showing a team around, and I can't feel it on the outside, but on the inside, it feels like somebody's squeezing my throat, and it gets itchy and hot, and I can't breathe, and I just have to go. And that does happen kind of quite a bit.
That actually happened in the middle of our walkthrough the second time we went.
Did it? Okay. I was about to say, I remember, I was going to think, was it with you guys? I remember it was like, I can't breathe. And it's, honestly don't know why, because I don't feel like anything is trying to hurt me or it's negative. And and it really didn't start happening until, Deborah and I used to, when we were up at the jail, we would stay at the jail. And she bought a house about 2 years ago, about 20 minutes from the jail. So we spend a lot of our time there and we're not at the jail as much. So, I just wonder if maybe it's their way of just frustration, maybe like, don't leave us, I don't know. I really don't know, but, and I don't feel it threatening though, which I guess is kind of weird. Maybe I
do have a question.
Yes, babe.
So for when y'all do the Ouija board sessions,
yes,
do y'all think y'all have ever conjured like anything negative at times?
Okay. Let's see.
Because that sheriff's bedroom always feel a weird vibe in that room. Always.
Okay.
Especially that closet that's in there.
That is a weird little closet. And I've ripped that closet up before because we've gotten EVPs in there that said, let me out. I'm like, let you out of where? I don't know. But I have never personally done a Ouija board experience in the sheriff's bedroom before. I did in the upstairs cells. We started on the men's side and we weren't getting anything. So we moved to the women's side and then like all hell broke loose. And I don't know if we conjured something up per se, or if it was that shadow man, but we were on the women's side and we were facing like towards where the windows are. And it was nighttime outside and there's a back light. So we could kind of see light coming through. And this big black shadow just completely blacked out both of those lights, both of those windows. I mean, it was like, it felt very heavy. And that's when I looked over at Deborah and she was gone. She's like running down the stairs. And I'm like, well, I mean, if she's gone, I'm out too. Cause like she's gone, I'm gone. So I don't, like I said, I don't know if I like conjured anything up really, or if we did, or if that was just, the big dark shadow man.
The only reason why I ask is, because I know the place isn't like demonically haunted or anything like that.
No.
But like we have come across like two things that are questionable to us because of like it's not related,
Right.
And once we got the word Diablo, that was upstairs going to the women's cells. And then downstairs in the sheriff's bedroom, I was doing a spirit box sitting on the bed. And this was during the day. Got the word evil by a man.
So this was pretty recent?
Oh, crap.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Uh-oh, what happened?
All right, I'm back. Sorry. Am I back?
Yeah, you were here.
Okay. It's like, I don't know what happened. I am an idiot when it comes to computers. Okay. I'm just going to let you know this right now. So, but, and I don't know, when people come to the jail, they could be coming with their own negative energy. They could have an attachment. They could be coming to the jail and doing weird stuff. I'm not there. I'm not hanging out with them. So I don't know. Because I do know we've had some people experience things that to me are like mind blowing. I'm like, why would that happen here? Just, kind of evil, more evil things, being scratched and being pushed and stuff like that. I mean, that's not okay. And then there's the whole other side to the jail where you have time loss and, doppelganger stuff. And it's just,
time loss is real. Time
real.
loss is severely real.
And I never wanted to ask you about is if you've ever had an experience in the jail with time loss or anything extraterrestrial or doppelganger, those things that are being reported.
Out of all those, losing time would be one. It only happened to me once at the jail, though. I was sitting on the sheriff's bed, completely in the dark. I think this was during my solo. This was the first time we were there. All the lights were out. I just had a night vision camera on me in the room, and I was just sitting on the bed looking into the hallway and to the sheriff's office right across. And as I'm doing so, I start asking like questions, and then I start listening. But as I stop asking questions, I don't remember like how much time. It's really hard to explain. Like
you're not with it, and then you're just with it. Like
correct. You just kind of like zone back in to like what you're doing, and it's like 5 minutes just passed. And so, I mean, it wasn't 5 minutes. It was more so like 3 minutes. But to me, it felt like 30 minutes until I radioed Christian to come get me.
Mhm. Yeah,
But it was only 3 minutes.
it's a real thing. And I mean, I honestly, that's one of the first experiences, I mean, mind-blowing experiences for me. And probably one of the two experiences I had at the jail where I was just ready to leave for the night. Like, I'm just going to go stay at a hotel because I can't wrap my brain around this. Like, until you experience it, you don't know, and it's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting close to the hour. I was gonna see if we can get you to tell us where to find you. So are you doing residential cases or just public? Okay.
I do.
That way people can reach out to you if they have a case or where they can find you on YouTube to see your videos, shows.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I've only done one residential case here locally, about 15 minutes from my house, actually. Did an investigation at their house twice. Very nice people. I thank them for allowing me and Chris into their home to investigate. But yeah, you guys can find us on YouTube, Go Seekers TX, TikTok as well, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads. I think we're pretty much on all social media.
Anything everywhere. And I just have to say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say real quick, I think our email is also attached to all of our links.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, I mean, you guys, if anybody is needing a residential investigation or any location out there watching this, and you have the privilege of having these amazing kids, and I keep calling you kids, and Alex, I apologize. I mean, you're not.
It's all right.
You're not a kid. He's the same age as my daughter, so I mean, it's like you're a kid to me. So, but amazing professional group of adults. I love them to death. They really are. They take what they do very seriously, and produce amazing stuff. I mean, I don't know what background you have, Alex, and putting all this stuff together, but you are so fast and so amazing at it, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
I have to
I've
thank
said you've got a future with video. There's something there, some kind of future with that for sure. Not just
I definitely have to thank my father for that. He's big into special effects makeup. He's big into film, cinematography. He took film school. He took film school. Oh yeah, he took film school
that makes
over
sense
here.
Now.
His parents are awesome. They're amazing people. Such an amazing family. I really do have a special place in my heart for y'all, truly. And I you know this, Alex. I've told you this. I really mean it. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, my father took film school.
Before we go out,
yeah, I just
did we lose you?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say, yeah, I pretty much learned from my father. He took cinema school and stuff like that. And then throughout high school, I took AV, and I also did theater throughout high school. So a bunch of film projects and that as well.
Well, that's cool. That'll keep you
So
busy.
we'll have to do a part two. We'll have to do a part two at some point because we didn't get to everything. I didn't know it was easy to kill time with you. But also, when you get big and famous, you're going to have to circle back around and interview with us again.
You better not forget me when he gets big.
We're going to
most definitely.
All right.
Yeah, I would love to do a part two with you guys.
Sweet.
Yes, absolutely. And coming up Saturday is Love Shack 11 to 12. So that's weekly, 11 to 12. So don't miss that, guys. And then we'll see you next first Tuesday of next month with another show. Bye, Alex. Thanks.
Bye. It was nice talking to you,
Alex.